There's a version of you that wakes up before the alarm, not because someone forced them to, not because they're gritting their teeth through it. They just get up. And for years, I thought that person was born different from me. I thought they had something I didn't. More willpower, more drive, some kind of internal fire that I was missing. I was wrong. And I mean completely wrong. Because the version of you that wakes up before the alarm isn't running on willpower at all. In fact, the moment you understand what they're actually running on, everything you've been taught about discipline is going to fall apart. Stick with me for the next few minutes because by the end of this, you're going to see why almost everyone, including you, probably, has been building discipline the wrong way. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Before we go further, if you're the kind of person who's tired of starting over every Monday, tired of white-knuckling your way through goals you actually care about, hit subscribe right now. Not because I need the number, because this channel exists for exactly one type of person, the one who refuses to stay the same. If that's you, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Here's the lie we've all been sold. Discipline is willpower. Discipline is gritting your teeth. Discipline is forcing yourself to do the hard thing every single day through sheer force of character, and if you fail, it's because your willpower wasn't strong enough. That's the story. That's what every gym poster, every no excuses wall art, every 5 a.m. cold plunge video is quietly telling you. Force harder, want it more, suffer better than the next person. But here's the problem. Willpower is not unlimited. It's not a personality trait you either have or don't have. It's a resource. And like any resource, it runs out. Psychologists have a name for this: decision fatigue. Every choice you make during the day, from what to wear to what to eat to whether you answer that annoying email, draws from the same tank. By the time you get to the choice that actually matters, do I go to the gym? Do I open my laptop and work on the thing I said I'd work on? That tank is often already empty. And when it's empty, no amount of wanting it more is going to refill it in that moment. So, you skip it. And then, because you were taught that discipline is willpower, you conclude something devastating about yourself. You think, I must not want this enough. I must be weak. I must be the kind of person who doesn't follow through. That conclusion is a lie. But it's a lie that ruins people, because it doesn't just cost you one missed workout. It costs you your identity. You start collecting evidence against yourself. One missed day becomes proof of a whole pattern. And that pattern becomes the story you tell yourself every time you try again. I've failed at this before. I'll probably fail this time too. That's how promising, capable people end up stuck for years. Not because they're lazy, because they were taught the wrong model of how discipline actually works. So if discipline isn't willpower, what is it? Here's the shift that changes everything. Discipline is not a feeling you generate. Discipline is a structure you build. The people who seem to have endless self-control aren't fighting themselves every morning. They've simply removed the moment where a fight is required. Let me give you an example. There's a well-known story about a former Navy officer who ran ultra-marathons through deserts most people couldn't survive walking through. When asked how he pushed through the pain, his answer wasn't about gritting his teeth harder than everyone else. It was about never letting the decision become a decision in the first place. He didn't wake up each day of that race asking himself, "Do I feel like running today?" The plan was already made. The only question left was execution. That's the entire secret hiding in plain sight. Discipline isn't about fighting the moment. It's about never arriving at the moment unprepared. Think about your own life for a second. The habits you never break, brushing your teeth, showering, locking your front door before you leave, you don't need willpower for those. Nobody's ever posted a motivational quote about finding the strength to brush their teeth. You don't fight yourself over it because there's no decision left to make. It's automatic. It's structural. And here's what should genuinely unsettle you. The habits you're struggling with right now, the ones you keep failing at, are failing for the exact same reason your teeth brushing succeeds. It's not about strength. It's about structure. You've just built the structure around the wrong habits. So how do you actually build this? Not through more motivation videos. not through hyping yourself up harder, through 3 shifts that change the entire game. The first shift is this: stop relying on how you feel in the moment. This is the single biggest trap in self-improvement culture. We're taught to find our motivation, to get in the right headspace before we act. But motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unreliable by design. They're weather, not climate. If your entire plan depends on feeling ready, 90% of the days you need to show up, you won't feel ready, and you'll skip it, and you'll think that's evidence you're not cut out for this. It's not evidence of that at all. It's evidence that you built a plan on the least stable ground available. The people who actually changed their lives stopped asking, "Do I feel like it?" a long time ago. They act regardless of the feeling, and here's the part almost nobody tells you. The feeling of motivation usually shows up after you start, not before. You don't need to feel ready. You need to start moving, and readiness catches up. The second shift is removing decisions, not adding effort. Every time you leave a choice open for the moment, you're gambling on a depleted version of yourself, making a good call at the end of a long day. So take the decision out of the day entirely. Decide the night before, not the morning of. Lay out the clothes, prep the meal, block the calendar. Delete the app instead of promising yourself you'll use it in moderation. This isn't weakness. This is exactly what high performers in every field actually do. They engineer their environment so the hard choice never has to be made twice. You make it once, with a clear head, and then you just follow the plan you already trust. The third shift, and this is the one that changes how you see yourself entirely, is tracking identity, not outcomes. Most people set a goal like lose 20 pounds or write a book and measure their worth by how close they are to that number. But outcomes are slow, and slow things don't feel rewarding day to day, so people quit long before the outcome ever arrives. Instead, ask a different question every single day. Not, did I hit the goal? But did I act like the kind of person who eventually hits goals like this? Did you show up? Did you keep the promise you made to yourself, even in a small way? That's a question you can answer honestly every single day, and every honest yes is a brick in a completely different identity. One where showing up isn't a struggle anymore, because it's just who you are now. And this is where it gets uncomfortable, because I want you to actually sit with something. If discipline were really about being a stronger, tougher, more willpower-driven person, then the people who fail would just be weaker people. But that's not what the evidence shows. It shows that people succeed when the structure around them makes success the path of least resistance, and people struggle when the structure around them requires a fight every single day. So the real question isn't, am I disciplined enough? The real question is, what have I built around myself that makes discipline necessary in the first place? Change the structure, and the fight disappears. Not because you got stronger, because you stopped needing strength for something that should have never required it. Here's the part I want you to really take with you. Somewhere out there is a version of your life where the habit you've been failing at for years isn't a daily battle anymore. It's just Tuesday. It's just what you do. That version of you isn't more talented than you. They're not more naturally driven. They just stopped waiting to feel ready. They removed the decision from the moment it mattered most, and they started measuring themselves by whether they showed up, not by how far they had left to go. That's available to you starting today, not next Monday, not after one more getting my life together phase. Today. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one thing, just one, that you've been white-knuckling through. And instead of asking yourself to want it more tomorrow, build one piece of structure around it tonight. Lay it out, schedule it, remove the decision, and when tomorrow comes, don't wait to feel ready. Just do the next right thing and let the motivation catch up to you, because it will. If this shifted something for you, even a little, let me know in the comments. I read every one of them, and I want to know what you're building structure around starting tonight. And if you know someone who's been stuck in that same cycle of blaming themselves for something that was never about willpower in the first place, send them this. They don't need more motivation. They need this. Subscribe if you want more of it. I'll see you in the next one.